hearts are moving, the candles light the way. I've done the work, I'm ready for the day. No noise in the signal, no fear in the soul. I've got the vision, I'm taking back control. The numbers tell a story, I know every line, because the preparation meets the perfect time. Successful, I am the light, I am consistent, I'm doing it right. I am calm when the tides start to rise. I am profitable, I see the prize. I am a futures day trader. This is my lane, master of the market. I've broken the chain. I trade with clarity, the fog has rolled away. I trade with edge, I know the moves to play. I trade with control, I'm steady at the wheel. A mind of pure discipline, a heart made of steel. Every tick, every trade, according to the plan. I'm exactly where I'm meant to be, yes I am. Patience is my power, execution is my craft. I don't chase the candle, I let the prophet find the path. If I am successful, I am the light, I am consistent, I'm doing it right. I am calm when the tides start to rise. I am profitable, I see the prize. I am a futures day trader. This is my lane, master of the market. I've broken the chain. I trade with clarity, I trade with edge, I trade with control. I am profitable.
All right, what's happening, speculators? The GOAT is here. We were goofing today about there's a firm that's reached out to me called GOAT Funded Futures. I'm like, I'm the GOAT. Anyway, I'll be talking more about GOAT Funded Futures at some point in the future. All puns intended. Let's come back down to here. I want to remind everybody the broadcast is going to be for educational purposes only. Make sure you're familiar with this disclaimer and risk disclosure. Most of the trades you're going to see on the screen are being placed in simulated brokerage accounts, should not be expected to be replicated in a live market. Look both ways before crossing the street. Don't run with scissors and all that good stuff. Okay, I think there should be a decent amount of opportunity for some nice two-way trading today. Real quick on my Kerpos, I'm kind of all over the shop a little bit. There's been some really nice action with all the news flow that's happening in the oil markets. That's probably one of the biggest reversals I've seen, but we've seen it now in, this is what the future is probably going to hold, right? I was advising advising. I was talking to one of my friends whose kid is graduating from college this spring, and you know, that old, if it had been 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, it was always get into tech, learn how to code, right? Now I think it's 100% understand the new paradigm that's happening because of AI-related computing interfaces and AI in general. And then also, I'm telling people get into trading. I know that that's considered almost taboo, but all that's happening now is the computers are going to bang into each other faster and faster. And our edge is learning how to dance between the raindrops, ride some of those waves, get in with our little small size where we need to, and manage risk. And there's nothing about the changes. AI is not going to create some bot that's going to beat the market. Look, really, really smart guys and gals have been at this for a very, very long time. And I was with a company called Collective 2 where they were paying for our data just for the randomness of having thousands of traders trading thousands of things in thousands of different directions. That's the kind of randomness that they needed to sort of test their markets. Anyhow, as of right now, I'm flat. New equity high for this account at 63,384. If it's your first time tuning into my stream, I'm doing a couple things here, mostly just showing that these prop programs can be great learning tools. If you do them right, you can cash flow simulated accounts, which is like the greatest opportunity ever. So all the haters out there just don't understand the opportunity. But alongside that, I'm going to trade a smaller account. Small is all relative, excuse me. I'm going to trade it from, it started this year at 30,000, balance is now 63,000, and you can just watch it move each time you tune into the stream. I'll have it up there for you. Trading, again, the TDG way, and as the account grows, I'm not going to put on more size. I'm not going to put on more risk. We're going to trade between 2 to 6 micros, max positions. The only thing I'm going to start cheating on is, since it's now above 50,000, I am going to trade the ZN, the ZB a little bit more here. Now that's a mini, of course. Now there's also the MTN available, which is the micro 10-year treasury ultra bond. So lots of stuff to get into there. My Kerpos over here is I'm actually long in a live account. The Dow Jones, just playing these ranges here. Whenever I see chop channels, I prefer to be long in chop channels. Doesn't mean, you need to be at all. But the market has recovered somewhat today, and the news flow is all over the place. So I'd rather be long. Of course, they could certainly fade this. But I want to show you something here that is something that's possible when you have your combination of live accounts and funded prop accounts, if you will. And in certain instances, you can do this if you're knowledgeable about why you're doing it, but it should not be a purposeful hedge. So here's what I'm getting at. In this account, this is a live account, and I'm long. Okay, you can see that it's actually up on the day, but this particular position is down 89 bucks or whatever. I'm going to add one here at VWAP. This is a very flat VWAP. Then all we do, if I go up to top left over here, okay, these are Bullinox master accounts, basically whatever you want to call them, funded, right? This can be real money for me. I'm short the exact same position, looking to cover one at the area in which I would get long elsewhere, okay? I did not put that on purposely. It was simply that in that account over there, I was finding some shorts. In the live account, which I'll go back to in just a bit, I was finding some longs, okay? Please do not hedge purposely, trade 2 accounts against each other. You don't need to do any of that. But what you can do eventually, and another thing that's great about all these firms, is you can have counter positions if you do it naturally, in which you really have put yourself into what we used to call, in the professional ranks, like a boxed position, right? There's a lot of the time the activity that you're seeing in the markets these days, let me just come back here, is because market makers are required to box themselves. In other words, to short stock against certain put positions, buy stock against certain call positions, and essentially box in their potential risk. So anyway, we'll see if this wakes up and if we get any movement here. But that is, I guess, everything that I have for us today. Decently profitable day over here. We don't need to add all this up, but it's doing pretty well. I'm through about half of the end of day accounts that I've turned into PAs. I still have some of these left. You can see there's getting pretty close to passing, and that's all in just a week since they launched them. But in fairness, most of you are not going to go that fast or put up those types of profits when you're first starting out, and I wouldn't suggest you do. But once you've traded enough and you see what the silliness of what was going on Sunday nights, there was an opportunity to really lay into some gains there, and that's why we moved pretty quickly. No trades for me over here on Lucid today. One trade in these accounts over on, use your words, Rod. The accounts over there on Top Step. The reason I'm still trading those Top Step accounts is because some of you might know this, but they've established their own brokerage. They're going to be clearing through a firm out of Chicago called Plus 500. I have a relationship with Plus 500. In fact, I'm going out to Chicago this weekend to hang out with the Plus 500 folks. We're going to go to a Bulls game and do a bunch of other cool stuff. So you will see me shilling for Plus 500 because I believe it's a great opportunity for your first kind of tracking account. I think it's better because it's a futures-only broker than going with something like Robinhood. Of course, you can go with all the other Ninja and AMP, and all those are fine. But Plus 500 is going to be, or is, Top Step brokerage. And Top Step, I guess I can mention most of this. I mean, it's all public information. It won't be very long until you'll have, if you're a customer of Plus 500, you'll also be able to use, you'll be able to use Top Step X again if you like that platform. So lots of stuff going on over there. The existing platform that Plus 500 uses is very, very simple. Probably not, it's too simple for active traders, but real great for beginners. All right, I don't really have a theme for today, but if anyone has any questions. What is a tracking account? Okay, so for me, what a tracking account is, what I refer to it is I have about 6 or 7 small accounts that I share publicly on my stream, in my trade room, whatever you want to call it, social proof, to try to, I just need to keep the statement trolls away. Since I'm out there selling so much stuff, all the free stuff that I give away, plus you can come into the trade room and check it out for 2 weeks and see if I am indeed the GOAT. Another masterclass today in the Dow Jones, that's for sure. We're getting long down at the bottom. Most of us wish we would have held a little longer, and then actually put in some shorts up here today in this account because I had no positions on. So been trading it from the short side and made all the profits on the move down to VWAP. But to answer the question about a tracking account, this account right here is a tracking account, meaning I'm tracking what I'm teaching and talking about right here on the screen in front of you. Now, for some, $60,000 is a non-approachable number for speculative capital, right? For others, you have way more than that. Maybe in your IRA, and you can segment some off and do this. But and 60,000 is enough to be well capitalized to trade a few minis. But what I want to track for you is that the stuff that I talk about, the TDG way, Traders Dev Group way, which is abiding by a daily risk budget and establishing, protecting, and respecting that at all times, and then using micros. And when you're ready to grow, you don't jump from 2 to 3 micros to a full mini. Here's a couple reasons you don't do that. One is you've moved from the flexibility of being able to scale in, scale out, trade around positions, and trade multiple products, micro Bitcoin, micro crude, micro gold, micro MES, right? Those are the micros. MES, MYM, right? And you can stitch those all together and give yourself more products and more opportunities, and then build your way up to that mini or lever instead. Or you can be a bozo and go full port to NQ, and it feels great when it works out, and you're effed when it doesn't. So the tracking account is this account. It's this account up here that I trade on Interactive Brokers that I've done no trades in today. That has $12,000 in it. It's the, let me open up Plus 500. So I'll open up plus 500 over here. It's this account right here that I got up to 7,000 from 2,500. I've taken some money out. I actually lost $150 the other night. It was up around 6,000 or whatever. Okay, so it's just a number of 5,000 to now $60,000 accounts that I'm using to track what I'm teaching. Because I found out a couple years ago that I needed to be as intellectually honest about this as I could be, because until about a year ago on my trade room, I would, and some can still accuse me of doing this, I would be clicking all over the place. And I'm still doing it off screen, but we're keeping just Dow Jones and a few select things on screen so you can see what's really possible with relatively similar risk budgets. Not the same. My risk budgets in the prop programs are like 400 to 800. Most of the traders in there operating maybe with 250 to 300. But then the more and more people I talk to, we have a lot of people that share what's going on and others that stay behind the scenes. I just heard from someone the other day that hasn't been on a Trader Talk Tuesday, and I didn't really even know who they were, and they've been in the room for like a year, and they got their risk budgets up to $600, and they're trading 10 PAs from Apex, and they're averaging $15,000 a month, and just wanted to thank me. Awesome. You know, there are some people that don't want to share their stories or do a review or what have you. But so to finish the answer to the question, that's what the tracking accounts are all about. To show you this isn't bullshit. It's not, I'm not gaming the system to have success in prop programs. In fact, it's the exact opposite. We're using the prop programs to learn how to do the exact same thing in live markets should the amount of buying power and copiers and all this stuff go away. I don't think it's going to be going away anytime in the near term. All right, that was a great question. That got me so I can explain that. Thanks for the graceful exit video this AM. Got me from green. I should probably have shorted the +2 on the way up. Cool. So let me talk about graceful exits for a moment. So it's a simple concept that can be extremely powerful, which is everyone talks about cut your losses and let your winners run, but they don't really describe some mechanical, systematic, repeatable ways in which you can put yourself into that state and know when to do it, okay? So I say systematic, repeatable, mechanical. It's not that, by the way, could have got out of that. Okay, I'm gonna
order filled.
See if we can get a fill on this Dow Jones right here. I'm gonna move this because this is a target
order
on my short over on Bullinox, and I'll just buy that little swing low down there at 47.66. It's not a swing that you see here. It's just the area that we got. I don't know, move this over a little bit. See that area over there where, you know, oil markets were whipping. We have successfully moved a tanker through the Straits of Hormuz. No, we haven't. That never happened. Oh, oil falls, then drops, then falls, then drops.
Order filled.
Okay, so I'm now out of my short over on
order canceled.
Bullinox, so we need this thing to go up. All right, real quick, back to the graceful exit. A graceful exit is simply a way of putting yourself in a position to scratch more trades more often. Be very impatient with unprofitable trades. How do you know when to do that? And are you always taught, let things go to your stop or your target? And if you don't let things go to your stop or your target, you're doing it wrong. And the guy or gal that taught you the strategy is going to say, well, it's not my fault. You just don't know how to execute it properly. So what we do with the graceful exit is we say, hey, did a trade immediately go against me? I got long, it just dumped. I got short, it ripped. Put a 1 in the chat if that feels like what you feel like all the time. Damn, every time I get in. If that's the case, you're doing it wrong, and you need to come check out my trade room. Links in the description down below. I'll put a pinned comment too to our Discord. Okay. You can also come to our free Discord over here. And I think Discord is a shit show. By the way, if you ever join our group or join our Discord and you hear from me, it's not me. I don't got the time to talk to you guys on Discord. Now, do I respond sometimes to questions on Discord? Yes. Okay. But that response is never going to say, hey, and in case you didn't know, I also offer this shit coin that you might want to check out. No, that's not me. Okay? I wish we could do more about it, but we can't. It's just flattery is the... I'm flattered that we've reached the point where people are going to impersonate me. Unfortunately, in the type of content that I provide... By the way, look at Philo today, baby. Passing 2 evals the TDG way. Let's give it a little... Oops, I already did a thumbs up on that. So... the reason I came over to Discord is to show you that over here we have our whole welcome area, and you can get access to the free ebook, the free trading course, but this is the key right here, the free 2-week trial. Because I'm talking about graceful exits, and in the graceful exit world,
Order filled.
you're doing it wrong if you are constantly finding that you need to gracefully exit. I had asked who said the moment they get in, they feel like it's going against them. Okay, so come over to the trial. You'll learn how to put yourself in more high probability areas where you're not going to be constantly needing to graceful exit. But should a trade go quickly against you and significantly against you? What is quickly? Quickly, you can measure that. Shit, I just got long, it's dumping. Shit, I just got short, it's ripping. Okay? And what is significantly against you? Significantly is any trade that's cutting into more than half of your DRB. If your DRB is 300 and you see you're down 150 in that trade, you are in graceful exit mode, which means on the first retracement, move in your favor, whatever you want to call it, you need to exit partial or all of that position. Now, what if it doesn't do it? Well, if you're already at half your DRB, you have to hit the close button. So the first thing to point out is you're not always going to get the opportunity to gracefully exit. Some markets don't care. And again, if you're in at the wrong times, a lot of the time, you won't have the opportunity to gracefully exit because you're just in the market at the wrong times, the wrong areas. Right? What we do is mean reversion. So mean reversion generally is going to allow you to manage positions on the short side in the offer zone 2 standard deviations above VWAP, on the downside 2 standard deviations below VWAP, in conjunction with understanding what's happening in the range trader, the overall range on our 30-minute volume profile chart. When you combine those two things, so for example, let me show you today on crude oil on the range trader, right? Let's do this. This green zone that is drawn in here was drawn in this morning. I didn't just draw that in after the fact. And all that is the combination of these two prior session lows. You see, I've been doing this for so long that my brain, and I've done other things that have fried my brain, that my brain is so fried that I can't look at order flows and bubbles on the charts. I don't know that guy rips, but every time I look at his charts with all that bubbles and shit all over the place, there's no way that's helping anybody. I'm sorry, it's just not.
Order filled.
Right? What I need to do is be able to have an area that I drew in from connecting this line to this line. And what do you know? It came right down to here, came into the zone, closed there. This candle is what scared the kids, right? But if you were building a position all in here using micros, look at what you got out of it. Okay? Now, I'm not being results oriented. It just bounced from that particular level. Let's say that you got in here and it started to rip down on you. Well, now you have a graceful exit candidate. Now, did you get to gracefully exit on this trade before it killed all your hopes and dreams and sent your kids to state college? There's nothing wrong with state college, by the way, community college. Any college that doesn't have a D1 team, though, is technically not a college. So if you don't have D1 sports, not really a college. So anyway, this is the range trader here, okay? So what we want to do is we want to reference our range trader or higher time frame, and then we're going to do that in conjunction with our stay in the lane, which is 2 standard deviations above and below VWAP. You practice that for 3 to 6 months, and you too can be the GOAT. All right, I almost got filled there. I did not. So what I'm going to do now is come down to the bottom of that
Order submitted.
that value area. That might be a little hard to see there. And then take you over here for a second and Now, I'm short again. I'm just going to close it out. So
Order filled.
we're over there.
Order submitted.
All right. I don't even need very many questions today. You guys are just prompting me by asking a few things there. So we talked about the graceful exit. That's all it is. It's identifying a time in which, rather than looking left and trying to figure out where the next level is and what you're supposed to do and should you move your stop and shit, once again, I got in and the market ripped against me. Just put yourself in a place in which you can know, okay, I got to get out of this trade. Will the market give me an opportunity to get out of this trade? Maybe. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. That's the graceful exit. Yeah, I still haven't shown my tax returns. Me and Trump. I think he had to show us returns. Me and Trump. Damn, I don't see her Trustpilot review anymore. Whose? Oh, you mean that person? There was some, yeah. I leave all the 1 stars on there, baby. That was a great review. It's still there, I think. Was not today an outside day up? Should we not refrain from shorts? Outside day up in what? Just always tell me the instrument you're talking about. If we go S&P, it was for a bit. Now it's come back in for some great range trading here. With the amount of range expansion volatility that we've had, by the way, that is what volatility is. Speed of movement's not volatility. Volatility is rate of change. It's actual change, delta over expected range. So we came all the way up here. That was the prior session high, 68.18. And yes, we were outside day for a little bit. So you can choose to not trade in here if you want. But another way to look at this is so much energy used to get us all the way up here. All right, Dow, I'm gonna get a chance here. So we bought it here. So we're long here. See my plan now? My plan is to see if I can get the whole piece. Now, why did I buy here? This is the low of this profile here. It's not technical. This long here is not part of stay in your lane. The stay in your lane long is at 47,593. Okay? So what I do, again, in this account, which is, again, up $200, and I don't mind giving it all back today. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to continue to trade the strategy. Yesterday, we had a big-ass pop on some news event near the end of the day. So anything's possible. Today, it could be exactly the opposite. But what we want to do is trade around this entire range in here. Okay. Let me see. Just got my first funded. Love it. Yeah, someone said they're having a hard time switching from the MNQ to the MYM. I know, but without being sexist or whatever, it's the analogy we use though is, or what was it? I think it's metaphor, right? Trading the NASDAQ or the MNQ is like letting a crackhead mow your lawn. I was going to talk about, you go through that phase. You just gotta leave that crazy gal behind. Or if you're a lady yourself, leave that crazy guy behind. Or if you're into ladies, leave the crazy lady behind. Or if you're into guys, leave that crazy guy behind. The dramatic dude. Whatever the case may be. You're picking up what I'm putting down. Now, you don't have to stay off of the NASDAQ forever. We just had a great Trader Talk Tuesday today with Kevin, who just got his first. Kevin, I don't know if you're in here, but if there's any members of my trade community that listen to the Trader Talk Tuesday today, let's give a little love in the chat here today for Kevin, who came in and crushed it. He was trading everything. He's trading oil, he's trading gold. He finally did get through one of the programs, but now he knows he needs to switch back to MES, MYM. And then eventually, in this account that you're seeing right here, I trade everything. I trade all of these instruments. MES, MYM, MNQ, even the M2K. Sometimes I trade micro Bitcoin. I trade the treasuries. I trade micro gold. I trade micro crude. I trade the 6B. Pretty often, I I trade the 6B relatively often. I trade the micro Bitcoin. The only thing I don't trade in here is, of course, any of the minis, and I don't trade any of the VIX products. Yes, congratulations, Kevin. And no diddle in the middle. Yeah, if you don't diddle in the middle, then that's fine. Yeah, so someone gave you some advice. Just delete it off your chart. Right over here, if I was doing it here, it would be this trash can button right here. I just hit the trash can button, it's gone. What you definitely should delete off your chart, of course, and this is true, 100%, just do not have them on your chart so you cannot even make a mistake. If you're subscribing to what I'm talking about, or this is not financial advice, looks both ways across the street, I don't know, you probably lose money. Everything I say is probably stupid. If you have less than 30 to 40,000 real dollars, okay, that would also be the equivalent of 30,000 balances in your prop accounts, which probably few of you have. I've seen some people online that have spun them up quite a bit. But if you have less than that, 30 to 40,000, then remove all minis from your platforms so that you don't even risk that you can actually trade one. Remove it from your dome, remove it from your charts, remove it from your watch list, just remove it. You don't even need it there. Crude's making some moves. I got to put this up here so I can watch crude. Where did I put this chart? Right here. Yeah, crude popping, so market's dropping. Crude popping, market's dropping. Makes me want to kind of short it here. By the way, I'm trading the on the crude market. I'm trading May. I'm not messing around. Ooh, almost got a short on here. Let me move it up to where it's supposed to be, right there. Yeah, 88.56 is the April POC right now. I did trade around it today. And broke even, made no money. All right. Do you recommend trading in the last hour at the end of the day since time is against you? Time's not against you. So also so to answer the question, I recommend that you trade, if you can, the opening couple hours of the New York session, if that's the products you trade. So MES, MYM, MNQ, those kinds of things. Even things like gold, oil, and Bitcoin are going to move the most during the New York cash session, 9:30 to 4. The best way to practice is to trade products that are available during the time that you can be in front of the screens. So to answer your question, do not trade the afternoons if you can't trade the mornings. The afternoon is going to provide far fewer opportunities than the morning is going to provide. So, but it's not about not trading the afternoon because you have to get out and you can't wait. And yes, the accounts that you're going to see on the screen for me are mostly live, even though I have to say that dumb disclaimer. They're mostly live accounts, and I can do whatever I want. You know, I can hold a position or whatever. And again, these are micros, so they're not eating up that much margin. So come here, join on the Power Hour. If you got opportunities, get involved. But the best time is around 8:30 to 10:30, 11 Eastern Standard Time to trade those markets. I would say that getting payouts consistently, trading that market is not a bad thing. Just, your path to that. I mean, only you know the situation, how many accounts it took you to get there, how often you have a blow-up day and just get a little crazy, because the Nasdaq's going to lead to that. It's going to be the Nasdaq is the most frustrating thing when it comes to just getting on the wrong side of a move. But whatever's working for you. So good question. Hey, do you keep previous day's POC on the chart? Yes. How far back? So the this is my volume profile. Let's look at it on the MES. Okay. So generally, I'm only looking at a day or two. In fact, so here's prior sessions POC is 67.13, and then the day before that, which is Friday, because this is Tuesday, right, was 67.57. I'm not looking back a lot for naked POCs in other areas. I find that the time to do sort of bottom up, top down is after you get a big move. And I look at it on 2 4-hour, 8-hour, and daily charts just to give myself a sense. But then I won't look at it again. That's just for me. There are a lot of people that like to do multi-time frame analysis, and if multi-time frame analysis helps you, great. But don't let it get you to the point where you're waiting for all these stars to align until you do something. So for us, when we're doing stuff, it's only the prior day POC. That was a great question. Does everyone understand what that question was? And in this case right now, these would both be levels that would be of interest. So 67.58 is Fridays, but I would not trade that. I would only wait for the Dow today actually bounced from Friday's POC. So it didn't get down. See where it bounced from? I mean, just it was like it got within like 3 or 4, 5 points of 10 points of Friday's POC. Yeah, it's kind of wild watching this inverse crude market trade right now, huh?
Order filled. Order submitted.
Come on, Dow. Look at this. If it gets up there, we made a bottle of wine right in front of y'all. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I keep hearing that the idea of subscriptions, or the Apex now is just a 22, 25, 23 trading
Order
sessions,
filled.
1 month, and some could go. Come on, Dow, let's go, baby. Come on, I'm just gonna scalp this here. Oh, we got a decent amount of. Got it to 300. I don't have any profit goals in here, but this is my worst day in a while. I've been doing 1,000 to 1,500 most days for the last couple weeks. So sorry, I'm off my game. We made $300 today. Takes me a long time to doctor this too. So that right there, to put an overlay where it says Interactive Brokers Live and has the account number U12 right there, that takes a while. So can I get some love in the chat for my photoshopping skills? Yep, crude came in. Crude came in $2, and the Dow rallied. How silly is that? But whatever. So in terms of choice, other ones that I would suggest you might take a look at is Perdea Capital, the Futures Desk, another really good option. The Futures Desk is inexpensive to get involved, and then the subscription renews are like $39 or $49, so they're not very much. You can take your time on those too, and they're very. I'm the photoshopping goat, dude. My hair's a mess today. What's going on? Didn't shave. Oh, I didn't put on my my eye makeup either, so the eye bag's going on. Let me tell you, if you ever want to feel a little down on yourself physically,
Order submitted.
watch yourself on video and listen to your voice. You'll be like, damn, is that how I operate in the world? All right. We got about 15 minutes left in the stream. If there's anything else that would be helpful, questions I could cover, let me know. Today, so far, we have talked about Graceful Exit. If you want more on the Graceful Exit, I have a whole video on my YouTube channel. Just go over to Futures Fanatic channel over there. Do a search under my channel for the term Graceful. And there's a whole video on that. Yes, the NQ -1. That was true. We got right down there. We got right down there to the NQ -1s. I'm actually cheating on you. I guess I'm long it over here. See, I didn't even see this trade. I'm glad you told me. I need to get out of this.
Order filled.
So I didn't know I was in that. Let me make something a little bit more exciting. We'll buy the -1s on the NASI if we get down there. Yes, all that stuff too. Thank you. One person makes fun of me, one person pumps me up. Pump you up. All right. The one thing I can do is, like, if I'm ever in a position that's unprofitable, like this one over here, you know, this one's unprofitable. You just go over here and then, you know, you're making money on the short side. We'll see. Which one do we want to watch? Let's be fair and watch the loser. The loser. You know what also is really good accounts are these, I like these statics from, anyone trade with Blue Sky? I really like these statics because they keep me, I just go super slow, like. So this one bounces up to 206. This one's at, it's so stupid that they start them at 200. This one's 6,000. This one's 13,000. These two I just started today. They just gave them to me today. I have a lot of problems with them, but I still like it. Like, they don't for me, I don't know what's going on. I had some payout issues, then I had some, and I'm just trying to make sure that they're all in the up and up. Everyone else claims that they've had no problems. They love Blue Sky, but they don't activate my accounts. In other words, I have to, you know, I'll pass one and like a week later, I don't get any email. I'm like, hey guys, I got these 3 accounts here. They've all met the profit objective. Can you turn them on or bill me or whatever you need to do? Anyway, these are static drawdown, right? So you have $2,000 drawdown you're starting with. Once you start to build a buffer, it's like free flowing. You can actually add to your risk budget and scale those up pretty nicely. There he goes, crude again. There goes the market down. You got 3 of the 200Ks? Yeah. Isn't it so dumb that the notional starting value of these things, it's just the dumbest thing. Everyone needs to fix that. No one's fixed it. There's only like 3 firms that do it on the evaluations phase. Like Futures Desk is one of the best ones where your balance is 0. They don't have to start with the balance of 0, but the balance should start at like 2,000. Then if you hit 0, the balance should really start at 0 because that's what the 200,000 balance is, right? If you hit 198, you're out. Can we just start a petition, tell all these firms that we all understand how it works, and the egregious ones, there's still about 5 or 6 of them out there that are just talking total bullshit, still claiming that working with them as a prop firm gives you more buying power than your own $2,000 or $3,000 account, which is not true. Betty has $10,000 and makes 2% on a trade and makes 200. Steve, who works with Trade Funder, has 100,000 and makes 2% on a trade and makes 2,000. No, because you didn't give Steve $100,000. Steve has the same thing Betty has. In fact, Steve has 5 times less than Betty. If Betty actually has $10,000, she has 5 times the amount of Steve. All right, I'm gonna take this at the -1s.
Order canceled.
And come over to here. Here. All right, we're at -1. Speaking of -1, we're at -1 again on the NASDAQ. So we can see if we get some late afternoon scare the kids. We got 2 more minutes till our market on close orders. Crude oil's on a bullish 30-minute candle. All right, Bobster the dude, I like it. If you've passed 37 evals but have only gotten 2 payouts, yeah, we got to change that. We can change it, or you can change it. You can change it. Which is one of the things that I have. It seemed to have calmed down over the last week since the new Apex accounts. But all these things is like, what are your thoughts on only 6 payouts? That's egregious. Only 6 payouts. You mean I can, on a $50,000 account, 2,000, right? I can only make $12,000 or have the potential to make $12,000? Oh, the horror. Screw that. And then the question I ask, as politely as I can, well, how many payouts have you taken this year across all firms? 0. What's the most amount of payouts you ever took from one account before you blew it up? 1, 2, none. All right, are we back in over here as well? Yes. All right, let's go over to here where we have less of a loss. Come on, Dow. Come on. Well, Bob, don't worry about that. Why do all these prop firms exist? Because they're just like insurance companies, baby. They take in lots of premium and have very few payouts. Denied. But again, I've said the metaphor and the analogy breaks down when you create your own edge by being a better risk manager, by trading the account the way the account was not designed or marketed to you. It's designed and marketed to you on a notional value with way more buying power, with no reality around margins or anything like that. But you have the power in overlaying your own knowledge about how to do this properly. Yes, this is a $60,000 account in front of you with 1 MYM on. And I can't buy any more until it goes down there and goes to the levels. I just put the orders on the line. And I don't care what the market internals are or the order flow or anything else. It doesn't matter. Put the orders on the line, walk forward, test it, back test it, establish, protect, and respect a daily risk budget. I have that account there just to show you it works. And if you're the type that's freaked out about seeing yourself down $5 or down $50 or down $120, trading might not be for you. But if you naturally are just freaked out every time you have too much size on and your P&L is whipping around $100 every 30 seconds, that's going to crush your emotional capital and you'll never stay in the game. You'll never figure it out.
Order filled.
How do you handle all those accounts, one symbol per account? You don't need to how I handle it. I've just been doing this forever. I can talk on the mic. I can look. I have 6 screens here. I have a laptop over here to my left. I can do all this at the same time. You know how I can really do it is because all these accounts are properly sized and I'm just using micros. And the vast majority of what I'm doing here in the afternoon is just these prop programs, which I care about and I treat as real, but they're not going to consume a lot of my energy or attention. And then I also do my best to turn off my others and get flat any larger treasury positions I have, just so I'm watching the treasury market right now because it actually it's coming down. The ZN is down to almost 112 spot 100 here. So I'm watching that, but the easiest way to multitask is to focus on just one thing, which is my stream, and not be too concerned about all the others. But the other thing is that eventually when you get to that point, you'll know your tech, you'll know your platforms, you'll know how to use the copiers appropriately. And then at that point, it's not a big deal. There's a big breath into the mic. I apologize. When would you like to retire? I'm very fortunate. I can do whatever I want to do. How do I keep the losing trades off the screen? Yeah, I got to find some losers. Let me try to find a loser. Oh, here's a loser. I'm not going to keep it off. There we go. We got an ad there. That's a loser. Fortunately, the account is up about $307 today, so we're down $80, but if it keeps going lower, one way I can get from, like I said, from that to this is I just come over here and I decided to short VWAP there on the Bullinox accounts. So is he long? Is he short? Yes. I just saw speaking of magic and and deceptive sleight of hand. I saw a great show at, Rachel and I went and saw, God damn it, I can't remember the name of it. The rat. Oh, he had a rabbit hat on, sort of like marshmallow version of, and lots of close-up magic. It was at the library at MGM. It's a pretty good show. I'd recommend that if you ever come to town. I think it's called the Magician's Studio or something. Can't remember the name of it. Oh, that's right. If HNT, the helium token, goes back to 50 or Bitcoin to 1 million, yeah, I still might be here. I still might do it. All right. Crude oil holding firm. See, between these two accounts, as soon as I get a few more on over here, then I have a 5 lot on in the real world. All right, we got 3 more minutes. Now, this trade that you see here, if it was in a prop program, obviously you'd have to close it, or you should close it. I'm going to hold this for a little while, obviously past the stream, and then I'll just sort of make a decision. I generally don't like to hold unprofitable positions that are this unprofitable. So I would likely just close this and take the loss. We'll see what happens. But that's how I would manage. I would manage this. Again, it depends. Depends on the account and things like that. But that would be the plan. Over here, I'm not going to do anything. I'm literally rooting for it to come down and fill me up with a little bit more inventory, and then I would be going into tomorrow, long the MYM. I haven't taken the money out of this account, but here's another tracking account. Someone was asking earlier about tracking accounts. Oh, frick! I thought I was able to. Let me just connect here. Oh no, that's not it. Right on the screen, you can see what my login is, but not the. I have everything set up for. MFA and security and all that good stuff. Let me see here. All right, let me see if we can log in here. Yeah, okay, so the balance in this account is $8,665, and I was supposed to take a withdrawal. I really should. It's only the 10th. I'm going to, next time you'll see this account, I'll have it down to 5,000. I'll take the 3,600 and profit out. But again, this is the same idea, same thing. And of course, as we know, $8,000 is more than the starting balance or the balance that many of you will ever get your. Come on, Dow. Let's go. Let's go.
Order filled. Order submitted.
I'm just exiting the long that I had in MNQ. I got long again at 955s. If you guys know the strategy here, the 955 was the -1 standard deviation below VWAP. Plan on trading through retirement or into retirement. What I plan on doing is continuing to grow our community till we can get to thousands and thousands of people that are supplementing and complementing their income in the markets. Because I think I let off, or at one point today I mentioned I was talking to one of my friends whose kid is graduating from college. This is a skill that's not going to be AI'd away. There's some funny billboards and over new buildings and stuff here in in Vegas that say, "Hey, ChatGPT, finish this building," right? Till the robots come, the tech can't do much out in the physical world. But the bots and the algos have been in our markets for a long time. There's nothing about. No one is going to code up anything that Renaissance didn't have before that has any kind of additional edge or prints money or anything like that. It's just not going to happen. And it's certainly not going to happen for us regular folks, right? It's retail traders. But your edge is your risk management. Your edge is your netto score. That's what does it. Oh, you're welcome. So we had a trading competition with Taurus, and Yuhang won it. Yuhang's in the chat right there. And yeah, so if you guys don't trade like bozos, I'll continue to do this. They gave away $500 and I added 1,000 to it. I wanted to add 2,500, but unfortunately there just wasn't enough good traders to make sense. So I added about 1,000 to the prize pool, and Yuhang won $400. Did you use it to activate? Did you use it to activate any of your accounts? I was told that there was a problem with the coins and activations, but they told me they fixed it. So if you wanted to use it to activate your account, you should have been able to. Yeah, we'll be doing more of those competitions in the future. I'm going to have one coming up with Earn to Trade, which has been around for a long time, very great, reputable firm. The difference between the way you might have seen a lot of trading contests and the way we run our trading contest is, first of all, it's a small entrance fee. It's not free. I want you to have some skin in the game. And then the sizing and risk management is what determines who wins, not the total profit. All the trading competitions are whoever puts up the most profit, including the Ninja ones now. That those are a stupid waste of time, a complete stupid waste of time. They don't measure anything. You're not producing any kind of risk-adjusted returns. You're not doing anything that you would normally do in your own account. Whereas Yuhang, manage risk properly, put up the most amount of profit on a risk-adjusted basis, simply meaning that he did the most with the least amount of drawdown. Because drawdown is a choice. It's not something, when you hear this stuff about everyone goes through big, deep drawdowns, it's just part of trading. Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on a whole lot of my colleagues and stuff too. It's not true. If you have an investment account and you kind of leave it alone, you're at the whims of the market and you will have to go through drawdowns because you want to hold high quality assets that are going to vary in price. And you can choose to add to them and do the best trading strategy of all time. It's called an investment strategy. It's called dollar cost averaging. That's what you do. That's how you build long-term generational wealth. And then you reinvest the dividends. I'm not telling you anything that, Vanguard hasn't told you forever. And keep your management costs and all that stuff low. All right, we're about 5 minutes over, and nothing happened with that Dow. It didn't do shit. Just died there. So
Order filled.
But you have the choice. You can hit the close button and you do not need to let things rip you apart on the downside. This deep drawdown stuff makes no sense. Let me go back to these accounts right here. Okay? Dude, up $6, $10. All right. Let me get flat here. We'll get flat here. You go over to orders. I have now Interactive Brokers and a lot of brokers are going to cancel all your working orders at the end of the day anyway. But I like to go in and just cancel them so I don't get filled on some weird thing, that I wasn't expecting. So we'll just cancel those orders there. Anyway, I call bullshit on a lot of adages in trading, but the one I definitely call bullshit on is that intraday active traders, that deep drawdowns are just part of the game. No, they're not. They're poor risk management and they're a choice. Okay? Now, here's where there's a little bit of exception to this, then I'll end, is that if it is your entire income and you have to produce a certain amount of income and you don't have enough capital, then drawdowns are going to happen and deep drawdowns are going to happen because you're going to be pushing it. You have 100 grand or 200 grand and you're trying to earn a living off 100 grand or 200 grand in terms of your account. That's going to be challenging. Match that with the soundbite where I said you could earn an unbelievable income with $250,000 of real capital in the futures markets. You can eventually, but you have to develop a significant skill. But you can get there because to earn whatever, double that in a year or triple it in a year, whatever you need for your income goals, you're gonna have to put on some size and you're gonna take some hits along the way. But unlike a lot of other games out there in backgammon where the guy's cratching you down, he's going to backgammon your ass and he's got that cube up to 64 and then you roll poorly and he rolls great. Can't control that variance. But in our world of these markets, you can control it by just hitting the close button. There's nothing the market can do to you that you can't control. All right, that'll be it. YOLO, I shorted the NQ and ES on NVIDIA earnings and to end up in third place on the NT. Good, okay. Congratulations on that one. All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in today. Stay green, trade like you mean it. Appreciate you all being here. Again, all the information on how to find out more about our group is going to be in the description of this video, or pop over to the Discord where you can get access to the ebook, the free Futures Fanatic course, and all the other goodness that we have. We'll see you at the next one. Be good. Bye-bye.